Alright, Donald Trump just made a series of posts on the Truth Social that immediately had his billionaire friends and billionaire donors like Bill Ackman trying to clean up the mess and walk back what he said, or sane wash what he said so the markets don't immediately crash tomorrow morning. So Donald Trump explicitly ran on the promise of tariffing all imports in the United States 10 to 15%, sometimes 40%, sometimes 60%. He threw out a bunch of random numbers without a coherent plan. And he just doubled down by saying he will do that on day one. On day one, he will enact these tariffs. And of course, Bill Ackman is out here trying to sane wash it because he helped elect Donald Trump. He helped select some of Donald Trump's cabinet members through Elon Musk and through JD Vance. And you know, we will get to that. First, let me lay the groundwork by reading this article titled, "Premiers Seek Urgent Meeting with Trudeau Before Trump Returns to White House." Now, in Ottawa, Canada's premiers are asking Prime Minister Justin Trudeau to hold an urgent First Minister's meeting ahead of the return to office of President-elect Donald Trump. Now, the re-election of the often unpredictable and protectionist former president has spooked a number of countries as they wait to see if he makes good on promises of mass deportations and across-the-board import tariffs. And that is the policy that would be detrimental not only to economies across the globe, but to our own economy. Middle-class people, lower-class people would be bearing the costs while Donald Trump and his billionaire friends would get away with it. The stock market would tank, but again, that only affects about 10% of Americans. And also, Donald Trump proposed across-the-board tariffs even on Canada, even aimed at Canada, which is insane. So Premier Doug Ford, who chairs the Premiers Association known as the Council of the Federation, tells Trudeau in a letter today that premiers who want to be a part of a Team Canada approach to everything from trade and secure border to energy. So this Team Canada approach sounds a lot like America First in a way, this populist rhetoric. We need to put America first, which liberals agree with that, but we disagree with how to get there. Putting America first on the world stage means funding our ally Ukraine and not allowing Russia to gain the upper hand when it comes to the world order. Putting America first means having a secure alliance with a bunch of countries. It should be a team sport where liberal democracies across the globe all strengthen each other. So Canada is strong if America is strong. We don't all want to be so isolationist that Canada is only on Team Canada, or America only cares about America. So the Premier says they want clarity on how Ottawa will engage with them about the new upcoming review of the North American Free Trade Agreement, which unfortunately has to happen under Trump's presidency in 2026. And this brings us on to today. Just about an hour ago, Donald Trump began sending out tweets about tariffs and about our relationship with Mexico and Canada, the countries bordering us. So this reads, "As everyone is aware, thousands of people are pouring through Mexico and Canada, bringing crime and drugs at levels never seen before." That is totally false. Right now, border apprehensions are lower than they were at this point during Trump's term, but he continues, "Right now, a caravan coming from Mexico, composed of thousands of people, seem to be unstoppable in its quest to come through our currently open border." The border is not open. He says, "On January 20th, as one of my many first executive orders, I will sign all necessary documents to charge Mexico and Canada a 25% tariff on all products coming into the United States and its ridiculous open borders." Again, the borders are not open. "This tariff will remain in effect until such time as drugs, in particular fentanyl, and all illegal aliens stop this invasion of our country. Both Mexico and Canada have the absolute right and power to easily solve this long-time simmering problem." So Donald Trump wants to use tariffs to brute force his way through and impact the policy of Canada and Mexico. This reads, "I have had many talks with China about the massive amounts of drugs, in particular fentanyl, being sent into the United States, but to no avail. Representatives of China told me they would institute their maximum penalty, that of death, for any drug dealers caught doing this, but unfortunately they never followed through, and drugs are pouring into our country, mostly through Mexico at levels never seen before." Obviously, he's not the one writing these tweets. "Until such time as they stop, we will be charging China an additional 10% tariff above any additional tariffs on all of their many products coming into the United States. Thank you for your attention to this matter. That will immediately drive up the prices, and we know the stock market will dip tomorrow. That is why billionaire Bill Ackman, a Trump donor, a Trump ally who's been influencing his policy and his cabinet picks, immediately tried to talk his friends off the ledge and walk back what Trump says." So Ron Filipkowski of the MeidasTouch Network said, Ackman trying to talk his friends off the ledge before the market opens tomorrow after Trump announces tonight he intends to impose massive tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China. And Bill Ackman said, to be clear, trying to make clear what Trump said, this is not going to go well for him. According to Trump, the 25% tariffs will not be implemented, or if implemented, will be removed once Mexico and Canada stop the flow of illegal immigrants and fentanyl into the U.S. Wow. What a way to sane wash or to walk back what Donald Trump said. I mean, you really have to be reading in between the lines. And by reading between the lines, just making it up to have taken that from this Donald Trump post. I mean, he does say that the 25% tariff is contingent on immigration, but he absolutely plans on tariffing all imports to the United States either way. And honestly, it feels more like he's using immigration as an excuse to flex his tariffs rather than the other way around. He's not using the tariffs to fix immigration. He just has an absolute obsession with imposing tariffs on other countries and wants to see if he can make Canada and Mexico bend the knee immediately. But Bill Ackman continues to sane wash it by saying, in other words, it's just so funny. Read the first two lines. To be clear, he says in the first line, and then in the second paragraph he says, in other words. This is what we mean by sane washing when he says to be clear and in other words. At real Donald Trump is going to use tariffs as a weapon to achieve economic and political outcomes which are in the best interest of America, fulfilling his America First policy. I don't know if raising prices for consumers across the board is going to help America. We do want to reshore manufacturing, but the way that Donald Trump wants to do it, strong-arm companies into moving back before they even have the resources or the infrastructure, while also deporting immigrants en masse. Immigrants would make up the labor ideally, not completely, but immigrants are an integral, crucial part of our workforce, whether Republicans like it or not. Deporting immigrants en masse, even deporting a fraction of immigrants, could absolutely ruin our agricultural sector, our industrial sector, hospitality sector. So overall, Donald Trump's economic policies are entirely incoherent. He wants to impose massive tariffs on other countries because he doesn't understand what tariffs are and claims that will help inflation. But his goal, if it is to reshore manufacturing into the United States, also doesn't work because you need labor for these new manufacturers or these new plants, hypothetically. And the labor that is usually in the form of immigration, oftentimes, would not be here. So again, everything Donald Trump proposes is contradictory in the same way that Republicans claim to be for family values, but they are anti-choice, while also not wanting to teach the preventative measures in a sex ed class like condoms or like birth control. They want to ban those as well. So how do you want to ban contraceptives, but you also want to ban abortion, but you also want to have two-parent households, but people can't take preventative measures? It is all entirely contradictory, and I will leave you with that. If you enjoy my videos, if you appreciate what I do, drop a like, subscribe, have a great rest of your day, and let's rip it throughout the Trump presidency. Let's push back. We are now the resistance. Love you guys. Peace out.